Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Kevin Campbell says one Arsenal player works much harder than people think. Arsenal icon Kevin Campbell has rallied to the defense of Gunners' summer signing Kai Havertz, the Highbury cult hero. Speaking on Curtis Show TV, says Havertz is nowhere as bad as he's made out to be on social media. Arsenal brought Havertz to the Emirates Stadium this summer, paying Chelsea a reported £65 million for his services. The 24-year-old has made 12 Gunners appearances to date, scoring once from the penalty spot and registering one assist. Havertz's love goal and assist tally has led to some criticism online. However, Campbell insists that those who actually watch him at the Emirates see a hard-working player. He said, "We want our £65 million player to be ripping it up, but he isn't at the moment. Offensively, we aren't ripping it up at the moment, so it's going to take time. It seems like every bad ball he plays gets magnified. I have seen people make a lot more mistakes than Havertz and not get called out. That's the life of a £65 million signing at Arsenal. I have been at the ground. What happens at the ground to what happens on social media is very different. On social media, you would think that Havertz is stinking the place out left, right, and center, costing us week in and week out. He is not. He does put a shift in. He is a continuity player. It's just taking him longer to settle in what his manager wants him to do. Nowadays, if a big money signing doesn't instantly hit the ground running at his new club, the pressure from outside gets very intense very quickly. Just a few years ago, Havertz was considered one of the best young players in the world. There is obviously a player there. It's just a matter of him getting used to things. He struggled at Chelsea, but let's face it, who hasn't struggled there in recent years? Arteta is no fool. So far, most of his decisions have worked out fine. Trust the process. Havertz will come good. 25-year-old Arsenal player has gone to another level in training. Mikel Arteta is seriously impressed. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has been blown away by goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale in training, who has taken his performances to another level. A report from The Athletic has more details about the relationship between Arsenal's two first-choice goalkeepers. Mikel Arteta has created plenty of discussion this season when it comes to his goalkeeping situation. Few teams think about rotating their shot stoppers throughout the season, with Brighton the only other Premier League side attempting to do it right now. However, it's something Arteta has suggested he might do, although we are yet to see this in action. Aaron Ramsdale started the season in between the sticks before David Raya stepped in after the first international break against Everton. The England international was offered an opportunity in the Carabao Cup, but thus far, Raya has been given the nod in the Premier League and the Champions League. This appears to have spurred Ramsdale on in training, and Arteta has been impressed with how the 25-year-old has responded to losing his place in the Arsenal team. Whether that means we are going to see another change against Chelsea is another matter. The report from The Athletic has suggested that despite losing his place in the team to Raya, Ramsdale has developed a good relationship with the 28-year-old. Not only that, Ramsdale's levels in training have surged after being pushed by Raya's presence to reach another level. Arteta and goalkeeping coach Inaki Kana are happy with the 25-year-old, who they both view as excellent. There was some surprise from those around Ramsdale that he didn't feature against PSV Eindhoven in Arsenal's first Champions League tie of the season. Other sides with two top goalkeepers have often offered the player who isn't playing in the league the chance to feature in Europe. Arteta appears to want to keep Raya and Ramsdale on their toes, and their levels in Arsenal training are seemingly reflected on this. Whether he can keep Ramsdale happy while he is not in the side is another matter, and he will inevitably attract attention in January if his situation don't improve. He is still young for a goalkeeper and can't afford to spend too long on the bench. National media criticise £45 million Arsenal player after his display for his country last night. Arsenal had a number of players called up for international duty once again this time around as their talented squad gets showcased worldwide. Among the Gunners called up were a number of their Brazilian contingent. Those players included Gabriel Magalhaes and Gabriel Jesus, who both played as Brazil drew 1-1 with Venezuela last night. Indeed, Magalhaes even got himself on the score sheet. However, it was another less than fruitful night for Jesus in front of goal, and Brazilian media picked up on his lack of attacking output, writing up their player ratings for the night. Brazilian outlet Globo praised Jesus for his hard work, but once again, his final output was picked up on and criticized. Globo wrote, hard-working, he ran all over the field and even made a tackle on the edge of Brazil's defense area. At the front, it was not very effective. This seems to be a recurring theme in the Arsenal man's career. There is a top player in there who has a big impact on games, but at times the goals just aren't there, and those times seem to be too often. Clearly, the Brazilians want him to do well and succeed in the yellow shirt, but the pressure of being a goal scorer for the Seleção obviously weighs heavy on the players, and it looks like it's the case with the likes of Jesus and Richarlison. Arsenal fans have seen this a bit with Jesus as well. Yes, the work rate and impact in overall play is there, but the goals and finishing are missing a lot of the time. Jesus faces a big season, really. It's on him to drive Arsenal to the title, and if he can do that, then it won't particularly matter if he missed a few big chances. Fabrizio Romano says the record-breaking Arsenal player almost left for free this summer. Arsenal have all but secured the future of Ethan Nwaneri, but if Fabrizio Romano is to be believed, the Gunners were on the verge of losing him in the summer. Mikel Arteta and Edu deserve immense praise for the work they have been doing with the player contracts over the last year or so. They have tied down a number of their key stars to long-term deals, and they have managed to keep hold of their young talents as well. After Luis Kelly, Nwaneri is now set to be the next one to pen a long-term deal. Ethan Nwaneri is one of Arsenal and England's finest young talents. In September last year, the teenager broke the record and became the youngest player in history to make an appearance in the Premier League. He is an extraordinary talent, and it was no surprise at all to see a number of other top clubs express their interest in signing him in the summer. Fabrizio Romano has revealed that three big sides tried to land Nwaneri and even got close to signing him. If any of those deals had gone through, the Gunners would have got nothing but a little bit of compensation. Thankfully, Arsenal convinced him to pin a scholarship deal, and Romano says he will soon sign his professional contract at the club. The journalist wrote in his daily briefing the following: Arsenal came close to losing Ethan Nwaneri. Ethan Nwaneri is continuing to perform at a fantastic level in Arsenal's academy, having become the Premier League's youngest player of all time last season and having been involved in an intriguing transfer saga over the summer. It was not easy for Arsenal because three top clubs were trying to tempt Nwaneri to leave the club with important contract proposals. They were close to losing Nwaneri almost for free with just compensation for the teenager, but in the end, they were able to extend his contract and to prepare a contract for the future. This means Nwaneri's first professional contract as an Arsenal player is already on the table. Folarin Balogun now shares what Mikel Arteta said to him before he left Arsenal. Folarin Balogun has now spoken about his departure from Arsenal this summer and his final conversations with Mikel Arteta. In an interview with ESPN, Balogun revealed that Arteta initially didn't say too much when he returned from Stade Reims, and then Balogun said it later became clear that a decision was going to be made by those at the top of the Arsenal hierarchy. Balogun said, he didn't really say much. He just said that when I came back, he just said well done, and he encouraged me to keep going. Then, me coming back in a preseason, it was just more about me seeing whether I fit into his plans and seeing if I can continue to play some games. He said that he would try to get me involved as best as he could. But of course, he also told me that the people higher up were making decisions on me and seeing what would be best for me. So the conversations between me and him were good, but it was more about the club, what they wanted to do. Of course, Arsenal fans must imagine that Arteta was involved in those conversations with the likes of Edu Gaspar. It would seem from Balogun's comment that Arsenal had perhaps made their decision pretty early on in the summer. Given Balogun similarly wasn't ready to settle for a backup role, the decision seemed simple for Arteta and Arsenal. Whether Balogun's departure will be something Arsenal will live to regret is another question entirely. Gabi Agbonlahor says Arteta must sign 27-year-old if he is serious about winning the title. Gabi Agbonlahor has now declared that Mikel Arteta needs to sign Ivan Toney if he is serious about Arsenal winning the league. Agbonlahor was speaking on TalkSport and said that Toney would be an upgrade on Gabriel Jesus and Edin Ketaya. Moreover, the Pundit said that he agreed with Ian Wright's opinion that Toney could be the difference maker for Arsenal and Arteta. Agbonlahor said, have to, because Nketiah is a decent striker to bring on for 15 minutes. He is not your main striker. Gabriel Jesus, good on the ball, good at linking, but he is not strong enough holding the ball up. He is not getting into spots where you are going to get them taps in. He is not going to get them headers as well. So I think Ian Wright is totally right. Whoever is serious about the title in January will get Ivan Toney. I think whoever is serious about this title challenge, go and get Ivan Toney. And Agbonlahor did even briefly mention the idea of Tottenham rivaling Arsenal to the signing. Of course, whilst many fans may agree that Toney would be a brilliant signing for Arsenal, it wouldn't be at the expense of Jesus. It's very hard to imagine an 11 under Arteta that would leave the Brazilian on the sidelines. Moreover, fans may instead expect that Toney would have to bid his time and make the most of his cameo appearances. Either way, it's quite surprising that Agbonlahor thinks that Arteta has such a problematic striker situation at Arsenal. Although Nketiah's performances have been stale of late, Jesus has been very encouraging in his work, and the Brazilian striker will now believe that he can deliver a consistent run of goal scoring if he is deployed centrally once more. Agbonlahor may think Toney is an easy fix for Arsenal, but the striker could end up upsetting a careful balance Arteta has at the club. However, as was the case with David Raya, it could be an opportunity too good to pass on. Arsenal now very interested in signing £52 million midfielder who Pep Guardiola says is incredible. Arsenal now increasingly interested in signing RB Leipzig Dani Olmo, who does have plans to leave the club next summer. That's according to Mondo Deportivo, who are primarily reporting FC Barcelona's interest in Olmo. The 25-year-old started in the Barcelona academy before making his name in Croatia with Dinamo Zagreb, and upon signing a new contract with Leipzig, Olmo now has a £52 million release clause, which has caught the attention of Arsenal. Moreover, the likes of Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea and Manchester City are also said to be interested. Man City have often been linked with Olmo in the past, a player Pep Guardiola has previously described as incredible. However, the report does confirm that Olmo's ideal resolution would be a return to Catalonia. It's interesting to see Arsenal linked with such a profile, especially given they are well stacked in his preferred position. Olmo has often been deployed as an attacking midfielder in his career, a position occupied by Martin Odegaard or Fabio Vieira at the Emirates. Moreover, Emile Smith-Rowe is also waiting on the sidelines. Of course, it remains to be seen just how accurate reports of Arsenal's interests are. Arsenal are seemingly targeting a striker, if anyone at all, in January, and do have firm interest in Ivan Toney. Perhaps Leipzig's Olmo could be seen as a winger to improve Arsenal's squad depth moving forward. Upon injuries to Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka, it has become clear that Arteta may not trust Reece Nelson fully. Despite handing him a start in the Carabao Cup, the Arsenal boss has preferred to force strikers out wide since. Therefore, Olmo would strengthen Arsenal's squad if he arrived from Leipzig, but he probably shouldn't be seen as a priority. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.